Okay, so quickly looking through the MDT that we're going to be covering off in the Halls route today. Keep in mind there's a little bit of variation towards the end because I stuff up one of the pull counts. However, this is what we were aiming to do. So your opening pull is always going to be this triple pull here, regardless of if it's fortified or tyrannical. If you're not comfortable, you can split it up into a double and then this single. The advantage of doing it as a triple is that you're pulling it, everyone's got CDs rolling. That way you're not doing a double and then having some people with no CDs for this third pack and it just taking longer. So if you're comfortable in tripling it, absolutely do it. Fortified weeks, lust it. Tyrannical weeks, you'd be saving lust for the boss. Big thing you can do in here is you can CC one of the first Thundercallers as you come up. You can also, if you've got a rogue in your group, you can actually just shroud past these first two and then pull. Sort of once you're at this point, get your CC off and then drag it up. It's just easier than mounting, running past and tagging them and running, but CCing one of the Thundercallers and taking them out at higher keys is certainly advisable. And then once this Thundercaller is dead, you could tag this one and bring it in. Then we do the first boss Heimdall. We wait for the Sentinel to pad over to this side. We run up here and we grab this opening, this little pack down here. We kill the Mythic. Once the Mystic's dead, we chain these two into the top pack up here. We then grab this next pack down the bottom here, just watching for this Sentinel. You don't want to pull it. We then, again, this Sentinel padding up and down the hallways, wait for it to be in a good pad spot. We pull these two and this group here around the corner. You can CC the Mythic in this as well if you wanted to. And if the Shield Maiden's padding here, you can grab it in this pull as well. Line of sight around the corner here, kill these. We're then going to go and do this pack here. Now you don't have to double this. This is really, it is a little bit risky. You could CC one of the Thundercallers in this if you wanted to too, or the Mythic. And pull this, or you could do this at two separate pulls as well. Just pull this and then pull this. There's no real reason anymore, especially after the nerfs, to go too crazy in Halls like it was with the RP extended and things like that. We're then going to do these two into these three up the top. You can't grip this purifier down anymore, so just be aware of that. You have to kick it and get its rundown. We're going to do these three. There's some tech I'll show you on the aspirant. We're going to do the double pull here, because you can pull these at the same time fairly comfortably, and then do Herja. We then run all the way back down here, skipping the Sentinels, not doing this middle pack here. We've already cleaned up this pack here, so we run all the way down and do this pack in the corner, and then we're out into the fields of the Eternal Hunt. We play the Storm Drake. You can elect to not play the Storm Drake as well and skip around the back of it if you like and make up count elsewhere. We play the Storm Drake, do Fenrir, come down here, pull two packs of wolves, never pull, never double pull these, just pull one pack and then pull the next pack. Do Fenrir, hug up the wall here and pull all the bears. This is actually where I stuff up in the video. I miss one bear, which I should have pulled, and then we end up having to pull a pack in the hallway, which is a complete waste of time. But you pull all the bears, come back out here, run all the way back along here, and then invis pot and skip these two Sentinels here. Watch out for the padding one, and then it's up. Make sure you grab your cup of mead, throw it on one of the kings, and then we do the four kings, Scovold, and then Odin. So let's get into the video. I'll walk you through it all. Okay, legends. So getting into this Halls run here. So opening pull is going to be a triple pull. Now, if it's fortified weeks, you'll lust. If it's Tyran weeks, you save lust for the boss. But I always suggest triple pulling. It's just the best use of CDs in regards to getting through this opening area quickly. You could elect to CC that front Thundercaller if you only want to manage one Thundercaller at a time. It is a lot of damage that goes out from the Thundercallers. You've also got two kicks to manage if you pull them all together as well. So CC the first one if you're not comfortable, kill the top one, and as soon as the top one's dead, then go and bring in the other one. As the tank, you're paying specific attention here to the Valajar champions. They'll have a power attack. When you see that power attack going, all you want to do is start running away. Now you can backpedal, strafe sideways, whatever you're going to do, but just get out of their range. They'll stop to do that attack, meaning they'll stop chasing you. They'll do the attack, they'll hit nothing, and then they'll continue to chase you. You just kite around. Don't get hit by them. If you have a number of them hitting you at once and they're all synced up, they will deal a lot of damage to you and likely kill you. The Thundercaller is the most dangerous mob in these packs due to the Thunderstrike cast that goes off on a random player, deals a lot of damage and they have to spread. They'll also be throwing out Thunderous Bolt cast, which on high fort weeks can one-shot people as well, so just be careful of that. That Storm Drake will put out lightning swirls, you just need to dodge, and it has a huge 25-yard frontal lightning breath. As the tank, you can either outrange it if you're kiting far enough away, otherwise sink a magic DR into taking that hit, but just be aware of that. Then we're on to the first boss, Heimdall. Now the big thing with Heimdall is just not losing people to the dumb. So Heimdall will blow his Horn of Valor, and once this happens, you need to start looking around for incoming Storm Drakes. There's 3 paths, the top, the middle, and the bottom. You just need to see which path is clear. So you can see the Storm Drakes coming into the middle here, so we're going to move out of the middle. As soon as it crosses the middle, we're going to move back into the middle. Reason being is they only do one path at a time. So it'll do the middle, it's done the top there, and then the next one to go is the bottom. So we know that the middle and top are safe now. So as soon as you see a safe point, just move into there, and then you can wait for the rest of the sequence to finish, and then we're just waiting for the next horn. Heimdall will throw out dancing blades. You can see they're just spinning swords on the ground. You just need to make sure that you don't walk into them and you're not standing there. For tanks, he does hit pretty hard on Tyrant weaks. Make sure you've got your active mitigation rolling for that bloodletting sweep, and be cautious of the after effect bleed that comes after that. It does hit pretty hard, and it's like an 8-second ticking dot. Healers, just a heads up as well, your tank might need some attention as soon as they get hit with that dot, especially on those higher Tyrant weeks. So just looking out for Horn of Valor again. Here comes the Drake. It's gone to the middle again, so we've moved out of the middle. It's gone across the middle. We're back into the middle and we're safe. It just went across the bottom. Going to go across the top now, dodging these swirls that come out as well. They do layer the zone they go over in a static charge field as well, and tornadoes spawn out of them. Just want to make sure you're not getting hit by them. So that is the fight here with Heimdall. So we're going to skip ahead now and get motoring through this dungeon. So Heimdall, he finishes at 10% here, because otherwise who would activate the Bifrost? So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this Sentinel to pat back to the left, because we're going to go right. Now the reason you want to go right instead of left, there's only one Mystic in this pack here, where there's a Thundercaller and a Rune Carver on the other side. There's just 2 things to manage, as opposed to here. Your tank only has to worry about the champions and the power attack, so just backpedaling. And there's the Mystic. The Mystic's the most important mob possibly in the dungeon. It's got a Holy Radiance cast, which is a mass heal that you need to kick. That Rune of Healing isn't really a big deal. As soon as it goes down, you can just move the mobs out. What we do is we wait for the Mystic to die, so we get rid of the Mystic, and then we chain this up into the next pack up the top. Reason being is there's another Mystic up here, so Holy Radiance to worry about again. These Rune Carvers will do an etch cast. All you need to do is wait for the etch to start, and then disrupt it or interrupt it. If you do that, it won't recast it straight away, and you get some time. The champions have still got that power attack, so still watching out for that. Another new mob in this pack is the Shield Maiden. Now the Shield Maiden has 2 abilities that you need to be aware of as the tank. One is Breach Armor, which puts an armor debuff on you. The other is Mortal Hue, which is a frontal that can clean up your DPS. So you need to be careful of that as to where you are kiting the mobs around, just making sure. So always just try and sort of skirt around the outsides rather than kiting into your DPS. We're then going to grab this Thundercaller, Rune Carver, and Champion pack here as well, but we can't drag this up. So we still get it in this route, but the reason that we went to the right before is because once that Mystic was dead, we could chain it up into the top. Not so much with this one, as you'd still be dragging a Rune Carver up, which is just another etch to worry about and things like that. So easier to play in this order. Do have another route in the MDT though, where we don't even bother playing them at all. So we get them down, and then we're going to go into the hallway and get that pool going. It also depends as well, you know, there's a lot of flexibility in halls. Now this was all done pre-nerf. You've got a little bit of flexibility now with the RP removal, it not having to go as hard and as big here in your pool. So if there are things that you want to break up and change, you can absolutely do that. So we got a Mystic here and a Champion. So pulling the Mystic back around, generally what I'd do here is wait for the Mystic to die, and then I would chain pull the other side to the right. I don't actually know what happens in this dungeon. In the MDTs we've been doing lately, we actually pull these and then we pull the other side. So I'm doing it here. So we kill the Mystic. You can either CC the Mystic and do it like this as well, or you can just bring that out, kill the Mystic, and then go and pull the right side back there. The line of sight, you need to have everybody watching out for the Mortal Hues here. So here comes the Breach Armor on the Shield Maiden, and then there'll be a Mortal Hue, which is that frontal going over you. So make sure the DPS aren't standing in any Kai path. Rune of Healing going down, so just moving out of that. The Thundercaller, watching out for those Thunderous Blasts. All the same mobs in here. So we get these down. I'm just going to skip ahead now. Okay, so we get those down, and then we're just moving up towards Hersia here. So there's a padding Shield Maiden here, so you can pretty much just run this. If this was padding down, you would have got that in the other pool. And then we're just going to move up to the Thundercaller, the Rune Carver in here. Now, again, there's multiple different routes that you can do in here. We actually end up, I think, in this one getting both sides of them here. You really need to watch out to where your DPS are as well. You can see Cream just got one shot there by the Mortal Hue. And sometimes it's really hard, especially when it's Sanguine weeks, Spiteful weeks and things like that. If you're trying to tuck into a corner and skip the Sentinels, you know, there's not a lot of places for you to go as the tank or for your DPS to go as well. So you really just need to be aware of that. There's a new route that's in the MDT at the moment that I actually prefer, where you play all the bulls and the bears. And it means pulling less pulls in the hallway here. So you can see we got this other pull here with the Thundercaller. And again, chaining this in is really dangerous too, especially if you start doing 2 Thundercallers, a Mystic, and then you've got these Shield Maidens to worry about as well. You've got a Rune Carver with the Etch. So as I said, there's a lot of leeway now in halls. Play this area safe if you want to play it at all. I'd actually probably suggest the second MDT in the route. So we're going to get through these. We've seen all these mobs, so let's just skip ahead. Finishing up this last Shield Maiden here. We're going to tuck into the corner as this Sentinel's coming up and just get a res off, and then we're going up into the next pull here. So there's going to be 2 Shield Maidens at the bottom of the stairs. There's 2 Shield Maidens up the top, and there is a Purifier. Now, the Purifier in old Legion days, you used to be able to actually grip it down. You can't do that now. You just have to kick it. So 2 Shield Maidens coming up here. So I'm going to grab these, and then we're going to move all the way up to the top here. Going to get this Purifier, kick it, and then it's going to run down the stairs. As a prot warrior, you can leap up onto that platform as well. Same as Vengeance Demon Hunter. Big thing here for the warrior, you've got 4 Mortal Breaches to worry about, and you've got 4 Mortal Hues to worry about. The Purifier isn't really a dangerous mob. It'll cast Cleansing Flame. If you can kick it, because there's only 1 kick in this pack. If you can't though, you just need to dodge the little yellow swirls that are coming out there that you can see. That's about it. As the tank, make sure that you're kiting around. You don't want to be taking those breach armor debuffs, and then just make sure your DPS are aware of where you're going with those Mortal Hues so they don't get cleaned up. You could actually, honestly, technically pull this into the top pack. These Shield Maidens, as long as you're kiting them around and they don't hit you, they're not doing anything. As long as they're not facing your DPS, they're not doing anything. So you could technically pull them into the next pack up the top, where you've got the 2 Shield Maidens and the Aspirant here. Big trick with the Aspirant here, which is really handy, is if you can get over near these stairs, you can see that it does the Valkyr's Advance, which is a leap. If you bring it over to one side of these stairs and your ranged are on the other side, you can see every time that it goes to leap, they're line of sighting it down the stairs and it cancels the advance. It hasn't leapt anywhere. As the tank, you just need to chill and just continue to backpedal to try and avoid those breach armor stacks, and then coordinate with your DPS as to where you are moving to, so they're not getting Mortal Hued in the face. But you can see not 1 leap has gone off yet. The Aspirant will also do a Blast of Light, so you just need to watch out for that. It's a giant frontal. It shoots out a massive beam of light, and on Fort keys, it will absolutely wreck you. Even on Tyrant keys, to be honest, it'll still deal a lot of damage. So you just need to make sure that you're not in that frontal. It'll absolutely one-shot any DPS that gets caught in it. But otherwise, big tip with that Valkyr's Advance, you just line of sight it on the stairs and that's it. Then we're going to pull the 2 mini bosses, Solston and Olmir here. Pull Solston into the middle. As soon as Solston casts Eye of the Storm, you want to all get in the bubble, and then you're going to pull the other mini boss, Olmir, on the other side. So Eye of the Storm casts now. I'm going to pull Olmir over here. Eye of the Storm's just pulsing nature damage. You can see all this lightning damage. Olmir's got this Searing Light cast. Just make sure you kick it. And then it'll do Sanctify, which is holy damage orbs that come out. So Sanctify's coming out. Going to dodge these, and then we're going to pull Solston away just for when we get the overlap of Eye of the Storm here. We're not having to dodge as many orbs coming through, and there's a bit of room to see. So Eye of the Storm coming out again. This is quite a bit of nature damage. Olmir, just making sure we get the kicks. That's pretty much it. So we fight these, we're getting them done at the same time, which is a lot quicker and a big time save. And then we're on to the second boss. Now, Herja is the ultimate test basically for your healer and tank in this dungeon. You're going to take an absolute nugget punching. So Herja's ability changes depending on which phase or which side she's in. So there's a Mystic Empowerment Thunder side, which is the Eye of the Storm, and there's a Mystic Empowerment Holy side, which is the Sanctify. You trigger each ability by having the boss on a certain side. The boss will gain stacks which amplify the empowerment phase, so you just don't want to stay in one phase over and over. You want to ping pong. So here's Eye of the Storm going off right now. So what we're going to do is going to go over to the other side now and trigger the next ability. Shield of Light's a massive frontal ability, huge magic damage to your tank. You'll have AMS for every second one, sync a cooldown into every other one though. Expel Light is a dot that goes off when it when the debuff expires. It explodes for damage. Whoever gets Expel Light just needs to make sure they get out, and they may need to use a defensive if they need to. Sanctify going off here, so we're dodging the orbs. Now this is like the signature ability, so we've had one on this side now, so we're going to move over to the other side. You can see I got clipped by one of those orbs, which is really bad as well. Spell Light on Cream, just moving away. I'm using a cooldown here to make sure I survive, and then moving back over to the other side. So you are just ping-ponging side to side here. Just be aware there may be dangerous overlaps here with Eye of the Storm and like Expel Lights or Arcing Bolts and things like that. You just need to watch out and make sure that you are spreading if you've got those, and giving people room to stand in the bubbles and still spread out when they need. So we've done an Eye of the Storm. Now I'm going to head back over. I've got AMS, so using AMS to get punted over with that Blast of Light or the Shield of Light. You can just use it to go back and forth, punch your side to side, makes it nice and easy. But as I said, just go side to side. You don't want to stay on, there used to be in Legion you could do 2 Eye of the Storms and things like that. Just going back and forth is the safest way to manage this. Dodge the orbs, make sure you're at max range, and that is pretty much it for Hersha, but it is the big test to get through. Make sure you do have cooldowns lined up for the Blast of Lights, or the Shield of Light, sorry. It does deal a lot of damage. Once Hersha is dead, we're going to be legging it down here, and we're going to watch the Sentinel. We're going to skip the 3 Sentinels in this hallway. It's just, there's such a waste of time to play. There was an old route where you would play all 3 Sentinels when you had the speed buff after killing Fenrir. It is just a real waste of time though. So easiest thing to do here is to skip the 3 padding Sentinels in the hallway. You can actually skip the middle pack as well, which is the much preferred route of mine now as well. So this Sentinel coming up the side here, a little bit awkward on timing, but we're going to just go and pull this next pull up the top. And we're going to pull them and stand in the corner. Now, watching out for these marksmen here. The marksman has a penetrating shot. You can displace all of the shots from the marksman. So there's that penetrating shot, blinding sleets, blinding lights, in-cap roars. You can grip it off, storm bolts, whatever you like. Just if the penetrating shot is being aimed at you or someone in your group, displace it. Otherwise, you can just let it go through. It doesn't do anything if it's not hitting anyone. And just making sure that you're kicking the Mystic cast here, the Rune Carver with the etches here. Remember, don't displace the etch on the wind-up. If you're going to displace the etch to stop it from casting, make sure the channel's actually going and then displace it, and it won't cast again. There's that pen shot again, which we ended up disrupting, but it was going like into the portal, so we could have just moved out of the way, no worries. We kill this marksman, and then we're going through to the Fields of the Eternal Hunt. So this is nearly down, and then we're through the portal. So into the Fields of the Eternal Hunt. You could skip this Drake if you want to. You can actually just run around it. So if you wait for the Drake to come and land here, so just move up, wait for it to come and land, and then you can actually just run around the side of it. We're a little bit close there and end up pulling it. Not a big deal. You can pull deers into this Drake as well. The lightning breath will actually one-shot the deers if you pull a bunch of deers into it for 1%. The Drake does get buffed if you do that though, so just be aware of the extra damage. Otherwise, pulling the Drake isn't a problem. In one of the sort of newer routes that I've been doing, that's the second route in the video description, you kill the Drake and then you kill all the bears, and that's actually all the percent you need from this area, and it finishes off your dungeon. Then you just go back into the hallway and invis through. So I personally don't mind killing the Drake. You kill the Drake, the bears, and the bulls in this area, but you kill the bulls when you've got max speed, same as the bears. So you don't do them on the way, you do them after you've done Fenrir and you've got your super speed. Just helps as the tank and for melee. Helps with the tank in regards to being not eaten alive by the bears, and it also helps the melee when you get to the bulls and the tankers. They can get out of the swirls a lot easier as well. So we're on to Fenrir. Fenrir is a 2-phase fight. Phase 1 is basically the same as Phase 2. There's a few differences in ability. Phase 1 finishes when Fenrir hits 60% and then retreats to the den. Claw Frenzy is a huge physical damage, a big red circle you could just see going around the boss there. It hits all players within 12 yards and it splits the damage evenly. So what you want to do is have your whole group stack in to split that damage. It's really important. Ravenous Leap will leap to random players. You want to spread out so you're not cleaving people. Once the boss leaps and hits someone, it'll leave a permanent bleed effect that stacks every time he casts Ravenous Leap. If you've got Night Elves in your party, you can actually have somebody run out and Shadow Meld like we just did then. Fenrir will leap out. As Fenrir is leaping, you Shadow Meld. It'll actually cancel the Ravenous Leap and you won't get any bleeds and you won't have all that extra damage going out onto you. Unnerving Howl will interrupt you, so casters, just be aware of that. If you are casting through Unnerving Howl, you will get interrupted. In phase 1, it doesn't summon wolves. In phase 2, it will summon a bunch of wolves. So we get to 60%, Fenrir runs off, and then we're off to the most dangerous mobs in this dungeon, the wargs here. So these wargs absolutely melt face. They did change it so they don't leap on the tank anymore, they leap to random players. Hunters can just pop a trap in front of them, which is really handy, and when the wolves leap out, they'll go into the trap. There's also a post around here. You can just see up to the top left of my screen there is a fence and a post. You can actually all jump up on that post, and the tank can actually just kite the wolves around. It's not a bad way to get around this. It does mean that they will leap to the tank, but generally the tank can survive the leaps. It's more these melee hits that do a lot of damage from the wolves. As the tank, you can see just getting chunked through Icebound Fortitude there. The binding shots, vortexes, all that kind of jazz. You just want to get them down and then pretty much just kite away and don't face tank the wolves. So wolves as well, never pull more than, if with the fence strat, you can generally manage to actually pull, 2 packs, but just safety here, as I said, with the RP changes, you've actually got a fair bit of time now in this dungeon. So yeah, 1 pack of wolves at a time, nice and safe. That's kind of all you got to do. So, and there's no rush to get to Fenrir either, even though he goes away at 60% and he's like licking his wounds, not healing any further than 60%. So play this nice and safe, just get through it cleanly. That's the main thing. So finishing up this last Worgen now, and then we're on to Fenrir. Fenrir phase 2 here, all the same mechanics as phase 1. There is one new mechanic though in Scent of Blood, where Fenrir will fixate on a player and Fenrir will chase them. Unnerving Howl here in phase 2 as well summons the extra wolves. The pack mates really don't do anything. They're buffed by the other wolves that are up around them, but they die so fast. It's not really a massive consideration that you need to cater for. So here comes Scent of Blood right now. So it's on Siren. So 6-second fixate. You can use Turtle. You can use Ice Blocks here. If you've got a Paladin, they can cast Blessing of Protection. And then you can just stand there and you don't lose any uptime in running after the boss while the other person is running away. So... but yeah, if you don't have any immunity for that, make sure you are running away. Unnerving Howl coming out again. We're going to get another set of pack mates. You're going to see this frenzy, the claw frenzy, so big red circle, making sure everybody is stacking in again. Ravenous Leap coming out here. Someone goes out. We use Meld. We don't get any stacks. Beautiful. Hunter's Feign Death does not work for you, which is really unfortunate. Vanish does work, I believe, but Feign Death doesn't. So that is it for Fenrir. So once Fenrir is down, we're going to go off and we're going to kill some bears. Fenrir is dead. We're now going to go up this right side, hugging the mountain wall here, and we're going to go to the bears here. Now, all I needed here from this route was to actually pull all the bears, and we would have been okay. I make a meal in this run, which is really unfortunate, but just I can't even tell you what I was doing at the time. It was just not good. Now with the bears, they will put a crunch armor debuff on you. Stacks, not good. They also charge you, and when they charge you, they slow you. So doing this with super speed is really valuable because you've got the ability to get away. The hardest thing with the bears is to try and keep them grouped up so your melee can continue to get decent uptime on them. If you've got range, it's really handy because you as the tank can kind of just zoom everywhere like an idiot. I got stuck on a tree there. But the big thing is, get aggro and then run away. Don't go back in. There are no hero points in this hero course for standing in and face tanking the bears with like the breach armor buffs on you, getting slowed, because you will get absolutely minced. Now, all we needed was one more bear here. Okay, so there's one more bear up near the cave. We're at 79%. You need 84% to go up to the top, or 83 point something, I think it is. Which one more bear would have been fine. So if we had pulled all the bears in this route here, we would have been spot on for percent. We could have gone back into the hallway, and then we could have just gone up. There's that one bear there that I should have pulled. Now, because I don't, we have to pull an extra pack in the hallway, which is really inefficient for percentage. You're dodging the sentinels in there as well. and it just takes longer. So that's pretty bad and unfortunate, but them's the break sometimes. This is how you learn. So move them back up here. We would have killed that bear, and then we would invis past the 3 sentinels. Instead, we're going to have to do an extra pack. I'm just going to skip past that. Okay, so let's pretend that we didn't have to kill the pack and I didn't just cost us another 2 minutes on the key by doing that. What we would then do here is we would invis and go up. You would get a jug of mead and you would invis and go up. If you've got other options here, you can shroud through is one thing that you can do. You can have your hunter pull off to the side. If they've got the ability, they can turtle. They can then come back through and feign death and drop aggro, which means no invis pots and everyone can get up. Whatever you're going to do, just skip the sentinels in the middle pack there. It saves a bunch of time. Make sure somebody gets a jug of mead as well, as you can skip past a lot of these kings and make this process up here a lot quicker. I was just hating myself on stream right there for not pulling that extra bear, and I also forgot to get a thing of mead, so this was really unfortunate. What would normally happen is 2 people, say, would get a thing of mead. You would go up and you would throw it on the mob there. You can see we actually threw it on King Haldor there and it just didn't hit him. Nothing happened. So what would normally happen is you would throw the mead. You would then bring Ranulf over here. You would start at the far left. You would bring it onto Haldor. Haldor would start attacking Ranulf. As soon as he finished, he would then be able to be spoken to. You would speak, it would activate, and you would be fighting 2 kings at the same time. Once one king was dead, you would move over to the next one. You would talk to them and you would fight. This would mean that you progress through these 4 kings a hell of a lot quicker than doing one at a time. There's 4 kings up the top: Tor, Ranulf, Bjorn, and Haldor. They all have signature abilities, and as you kill them, the others inherit those abilities. So Ranulf's signature ability is Unruly Yell, which is massive damage if the cast goes off. You want to kick it. Haldor's signature ability is Sever. It's cast on the highest threat target, which is generally, I'd hope, always going to be your tank. Bjorn will cast Wicked Dagger on a random target, deals pretty hefty damage and leaves a 50% healing reduction debuff on them. And Tor will cast Call Ancestor, which summons an Ancestor. These are really simple to deal with. You can either just hard CC them, or as the tank, just kite away. Now this, because we missed the mead, it's super slow here. We're doing one at a time. The mead is not complex, okay? All you do, as I said, is get a jug of mead off the tables down below in the halls, run up, throw it onto one of the kings. When it hits, as the tank, talk to the first king on the far left that you're going to activate, which was Ranulf. That's all you've got to do, and then just drag the mini boss Ranulf over to the king. You can activate all of these at once if you need to stagger the mead cast. So if everyone got a jug of mead, 4 jugs of mead here, you would throw 1 at 6, 1 at 4, 1 at 2, and then 1 at 0 and start. Well, sorry, you only need 3 technically because there's 4 kings. So 6, 4, and 2, and then you would start, and then you would just chain them all over. It would mean that you would be able to fight 4 kings at once if you wanted to do that and skip through that. So once we get through the kings here, God King Scovold is going to come in, and then we're going to fight God King Scovold. Okay, so here's God King Scovold. The Aegis has been thrown down. I've clicked on it. This is still the pre-nerf with RP, so he ran all the way up. He did his RP. It's like good 40 seconds of RP that kind of goes on through all this, which has all been cut down now, which is great. Gives you so much more time in this key. Now, Scovold will target a random player with Fellblaze Rush. This hits everyone within 6 yards. They get a green circle around them. Just need to move away. This can go on the tank, which is great if you're a DK because you can just AMS it, not take any damage, not take a debuff. The person hit will get a debuff for 12 seconds. You don't want multiple people with it, which is why you want to spread out. Scovold will cast Ragnarok as the tank. You've got the Aegis of Agrimar. You've got an extra action button. As soon as Ragnarok goes off, click that, puts up a big shield. Everyone hides behind it. They're nice and safe. Once Ragnarok's been cast, Scovold will go and steal the shield, the Aegis of Agrimar. He'll then put it up. You need to go and run and get behind that so you're not taking extra damage. Also summon out these little flames of woe. They kill themselves. They'll fixate on people and they'll leave a trail of fire as they walk after them. They kill themselves due to consuming flame, so all you need to do is just move away from them. Don't waste a lot of damage in trying to kill them. By all means, pad your numbers though. As the tank, you need to go and pick up the shield again, and then basically just move away from the fire and reposition yourself. Scovold will also do a Savage Blade, so make sure you've got active mitigation going for that. It does hit quite hard, so just be aware of those hits that are coming out as well. If you time the Aegis of Agrimar right, you can actually generally absorb one of those, either a Fellblaze Rush or one of those Savage Strikes after the hit. So Ragnarok going up here. You can see the Aegis of Agramar is up at the moment, so we're protected by that. Everyone's behind. The shield's still going. There's a Fellblaze Rush. If you spread out, it'll go in through the shield. It won't clip anyone, and they'll take no damage from it as well. So nice little tip that you can do there. And then again, just moving behind the Aegis of Agramar here. That's pretty much it. So that's it for Scovold. One of the other big things with Scovold to be aware of, as the tank and as your whole group, never kill Scovold whilst Ragnarok is being cast. So when you've got the Aegis and he goes to cast Ragnarok, don't kill him during that channel, because if you kill Scovold whilst Ragnarok is going, the Aegis will disappear, Scovold will die, but the Ragnarok damage will keep trucking and you will all wipe from it, and you won't be able to do anything about it. So just be aware of that in this bit here. Never kill Scovold whilst Ragnarok is channeling. If you're low, just chill out, wait for Ragnarok to finish, and then kill Scovold. So once Scovold's dead, we've got more RP in this one. Again, it's been reduced in the recent changes. And then we're on to Odin. Okay, so on to Odin here. Now, we've got our spears being baited out by the range at the back. Generally a really good idea. Blue, purple side, wherever along that wall. Bait your first set of spears out. Keeps the middle clear. It just makes it a lot easier. So Odin will start by casting Spear of Light, big yellow swirl on the ground that you want to move away from. So it's going to come out now. You can see baited to the wall, and a spear will come up, and then little orbs will come out. You want to try and keep the middle as free as you can for as long as you can. Just makes life a little bit easier. So you can see the second spear coming up there. Just, yeah, keeping them out of the middle just makes life easier. He'll do a Radiant Tempest, which sucks you in and then begins a 6-second cast, and then it'll explode. A 7-second cast, sorry. There's an Obliterator that spawns during this as well. You just want to make sure that you pick up the Obliterator, get it under Odin to be cleaved down. It'll cast Surge. You have to kick the Surge. If you miss a Surge cast, damage goes out, lots of it, but the casts get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker after it, and you can get into real trouble. Odin will cast Runic Brand. You'll get a rune above your head, either the symbol or the color, whatever you like to function and use. Go and match the rune on your head with the rune on the ground. You'll then get a Giga Chad buff for 30 seconds. This is where you want to pop your hero and all your big cooldowns and absolutely blast. Odin will also cast Fracture Spears. I don't know what it's called. It's called something like that. Shatter Spears. This will cause all the spears that are spawned to break all at once, and a whole bunch of orbs will flick out of them. You just need to make sure you dodge them. You've got the Obliterators that will continue to spawn as well. DKs, just be aware, it's really nice for us. We can grip the Obliterator out, which gives melee further uptime on it while that Radiant Tempest is going out. It will also cancel the cast of Surge as well. So it's a nice little interrupt cycle you've got if you don't have a kick up for it and you need to disrupt that. Shatter Spear coming out again here, so all the orbs we're dodging. Runic Brand going out. You're taking a lot of damage through Runic Brand as well, so do not be afraid to press a cooldown while you are running to your rune. As soon as you get to your room, you'll be healed. So that's pretty much it on Odin. If you've got any questions about any of the dungeon, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, check out the other dungeon guides on the channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. See you, fam.
Legends, if you really want to help me out and support the channel, please consider pledging to our Patreon. Tier 3 and above will see you getting your name at the end of every single video we create, as well as some hidden perks in the Discord. Thanks so much.